What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip. And today I'm here to break down the 6 top things that you must do to massively increase your appointment set and appointment conduction rates inside your real estate business. And everything I'm going to break down here today applies to whether you're trying to go out there and increase your buyer side of your business and get more buyer appointments, whether it's going after more listing appointments, or maybe you're a team leader, broker owner, and you are trying to recruit agents. It all applies. It doesn't matter if you're going after, I always say that, man, you're either recruiting buyers, recruiting sellers, recruiting agents, all kind of the same principles. So everything I'm going to break down here for you today works for, again, whether it's buyers, sellers, agents, or even renters, if that is your market set. Now, a couple quick things here before we jump in. Number one, got to understand that real estate is a 2-step sales process. So all of our lead gen, lead follow-up, so like what we're going to talk about today is the lead gen, lead follow-up that exists so we can get them to not just set the appointment, but then to show up for the appointment. That's kind of in the lead gen, lead follow-up bucket, right? To set the appointment. But then we got to conduct the appointment and make sure that we are converting at a high level for that appointment. So you got to make sure to make this kind of a full circle of success with increasing your overall production in your real estate business. You got to make sure you got a world-class buyer presentation in place, world-class listing presentation in place, or world-class agent recruiting presentation in place. Because again, you don't want to put all this energy and effort into this to get to the table than to just convert at a mediocre rate. That's always going to hurt your overall business or potentially just flop the meeting altogether. So we want to dial those things in. And you got to make sure that you have an effective lead gen strategy and a lead gen follow-up plan in place. Today, I'm not here to talk to you about, overall lead gen strategies or lead follow-up strategies. I'm here to talk to you about, hey, once you've got the leads and you're having conversations with them, like what can you do to increase the number of appointments that you're setting? And then from there, what can you do to increase the number of appointments that are actually showing to be able to meet with you? But you got to make sure that you've got the best, most effective lead gen strategy and lead follow-up strategy in place for you. And if you do not know what that best strategy plan for you is in your business, if you're like, hey, Josh, here's where I'm at, here's where I want to go, I just do not know exactly what I need to be doing to get me from where I'm at to where I want to go, that is you. I recommend that you schedule a free strategy Zoom coaching call with me, 100% free, no strings attached. You can do that at www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. Super simple to remember, right? GSD Mode Podcast. This is a Zoom call. So www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. And that's going to be a 60-minute confidential Zoom coaching call. Like I said, 100% free, no strings attached with me and you. Well, we're going to be breaking down, okay, where business is at, where your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals are, what your personal situation is, current situation, what your strengths, your weaknesses are. And then from there, I'm going to map out, hey, if I were you in your shoes, in your situation, here's exactly what I would do to get you from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, efficient, profitable manner possible. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, and you have my word that you will not leave this 60-minute Zoom coaching call without knowing exactly what you must do. I'm going to make sure you have full clarity. You're going to be like a damn horse with the blinders on, where you know exactly what you need to do to get from where you're at to where you want to go. Then from there, it's up to you to execute, right? I can't execute. I can make sure you got the plan. You got to execute on the plan. Okay, so now let's jump into, though, now that, okay, you've got all these leads, got your lead strategy plan, you're doing your follow-up, you're having these conversations, like you got to have all of that in play, right? So what are the top 6 things to go out there and set more appointments and be able to go out there and conduct more appointments? Okay, so the first thing here is to be realistic with the numbers. Look, and the reason why I bring this up is, number one, so we can plan accordingly, so you're not just going after the low-hanging fruit. I'm talking with somebody the other day, they're reached out to me for one of these free strategy calls, and they wanted more leads. And I was like, well, look, dude, like you're getting a lot of leads, and look, I'm not saying that they didn't need more leads or whatever, but we're starting to break down the lead follow-up. And the comment to me was, I follow about 4 times, then I get discouraged and I stop. I'm like, okay, look, we got to be realistic with the numbers. The average lead. Now, when I'm saying average lead, this is kind of putting in all lead sources combined into one bucket. So on average, it's like 60 reach outs, 6 conversations to 1 appointment set. On average, right? Per lead. So if I get this lead, I'm only following up 4 times. Okay, let's just say you're averaging a 10% dial the conversation rate, which is good percentages today. People are busy, they don't answer their phones as much, whatever. So, okay, on average, it's going to take 10 reach outs just to get them on the damn phone. Then from there, again, you're going to get 5 no's before you get a yes for the appointment. They're not saying no to you. They're not rejecting you. They're just saying no, not right now. right? So that consistency and just being realistic with the numbers, having the right expectation. This way, you don't get discouraged. You don't stop 3 feet short of gold, like Napoleon Hill talks about in his amazing book, Think and Grow Rich. So yes, skills matter. Process is important. All those things are important. But even if, like, dude, you got the right strategy, you developed the right skill set, you got the right processes, and all those things are extremely important. That's going to greatly help you increase overall conversions. But then from there, it's still a numbers game. Right? So you want to be tracking your numbers, be realistic, and make sure you have realistic expectations so you're not giving up too early. Because if somebody comes to me and is like, well, I'm doing all this lead gen, but I don't really ever follow up. And if I do follow up, maybe I call them 4 to 6 times. Look, it's not enough energy or effort to ever go out there. Like you're hoping and praying for the low-hanging fruit. And some of those will pop in once in a while, but you're minimizing conversions on such a massive front. Like you're not being realistic with yourself. You're being delusional, when it comes to, okay, what do I got to do to create success with this thing? So then I'd just rather you not do the thing. I'd rather not spend the time and the money and just find something else that, maybe would be aligned with your skill sets and your strengths and maybe your enjoyment factor on a different front. Okay, so number 2, now we're going to get a little bit more tactical with this. So number 2, you got to give people what they want. So the golden rule is treat others how you want to be treated. But the best salespeople in the game understand that it's not about the golden rule. It's about following the platinum rule. The platinum rule is give others what they want. So what do people want? What does the consumer want? What do you want? What do I want? We're all consumers. But these human beings inside of our database that we are like, what do we want? We want to get face-to-face, get an appointment with them, right? That's what we want, right? Because we know that, okay, once we get face-to-face with them, I'm guessing that your listing presentation, or buyer presentation, or agent recruit presentation is pretty good where you have high enough conversion rates where it's like once you get face-to-face, most that I meet are like, hey, once I get face-to-face, man, I'm good. I just have a problem with getting face-to-face, right? But a lot of times it's because you don't understand these things. So in order to get more face-to-face, you got to give people what they want. You got to understand what they want, and then you got to give them what they want, right? So what does the consumer want today when it comes to sales, right? When it comes to making a decision, a life change decision, a big decision, what is it that they want? They want the information that they want and need to make their best informed decision, but they want to do that in a safe, non-pushy, non-pressure environment. And I'm going to repeat that because it's so damn important. People want the information they want and need to make their best informed decision for themselves and their families, but they want to do that in a safe, non-pushy, non-pressure environment. So just think about yourself. When you go buy a car, when you're going buying anything, what is the experience that you would like? Like, dude, you want to go out there and probably check out the cars, test drive the cars. You probably want to go out there and check out and look into the thing. But then you're like, oh shit, man, I know I'm going to be hounded by the sales guy. I know I'm going to be hounded by this. Yeah, right? Like people, it's a turnoff, right? Like, okay, what you want is to get face-to-face with these leads. They want the information. They want to get face-to-face too. The reason they're not getting face-to-face to get the information that they want, need to make the best informed decision, is they feel they're going to be pushed and pressured and hard sold, right? And now you got to understand in real estate, we're up against some different resistance that other people may not be in other industries. The reason why I say this, if you look at the likability index, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. We're below used car salesmen. We are below attorneys. It's like firefighters at the top, realtors at the bottom. Yeah, right? And just go out there and like watch any movie, watch any show. How do they portray us? They portray us as like the douchey, sleazy, scumbaggy, commission breath, cutthroat. It's just how we're portrayed out there. Now, you and I can't change just everybody's perception of our industry. And that's not our job. Our job is like, maybe they're like, oh man, I can't stand realtors, but man, this Joshua Smith guy, I really like him. He's awesome. Or what, like that's what you want. You want to change their overall perception. So how do you do this then? So you do this through tonality. 70% of sales is from verbal, nonverbal cues. So now a lot of this is going to be over the phone. If it is in person, it's going to be body language, a lot of body language and voice tonality. So you do it through tonality. Talking, slow down the pace that you talk, right? Having more of a lower neutral tone, like understanding tonality. But then also implementing a very strict no pressure policy. So this is the hands down the best USP, whether it be going after buyers, sellers, agent recruits, hands down the best USP I've ever implemented in my business that has led to more success, led to more appointments, more appointment sets, but then more appointment shows, and so forth. Because there's 4 reasons why you're going to have a low appointment show rate, right? So, okay, we got to set the appointment, then we got to get them to show up. But there's 4 reasons. Like industry average 50%. I want to see all my clients, all my coaching clients, all my agents at 75% or greater. And there's only 4 things that we need to focus on and do to get that from 50% to 75%. Right? Number 1, we got to make the people feel comfortable. Number 2, so making it feel comfortable. That's what we're talking about, the no pressure policy. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this because it's so important here in a second. Number 2, we got to sell the value of the appointment. Number 3, so we got to articulate the value of the appointment. Then we got to make sure that we're not setting it too far out. Then we got to confirm it properly, right? And again, I'm going to go deeper in those as we go through these deeper tips here. So if you understand that, like all these different things I'm walking you through now are solving those problems. So then from there, it's not enough to just have the policy in place. You need to, like from when I have that first conversation with a lead to the second, every time I'm having a conversation with them, I'm reiterating this no pressure policy. So let's just say I'm setting an appointment with a potential buyer. Right? Potential buyer client, setting a buyer appointment. After get in, I'm selling the value of the appointment. Then I get in to start, setting the appointment to make them feel uber comfortable. I go out of my way and I reiterate something like this. Hey, and just so you know, the sole purpose of this appointment is to provide, I don't say appointment, sole purpose, just so you know, the sole purpose of this meeting is to provide you with all the information that you need to make the best decision for yourself and for your family, regardless of what that decision is. Look, at the end of this meeting, you might decide that, hey, maybe home ownership isn't for you, not now, not never. And if that's your decision, that's 100% okay. You may even decide that, hey, home ownership is for you, just now isn't the time. And that's okay too. Hey, you may even decide that home ownership is for you, now is the time, but maybe you don't feel comfortable with moving forward with me as your real estate agent. That's okay too. Like I said, the sole purpose of this meeting is to make sure you have all the information that you need to make the best informed decision for yourself and for your family. Does that sound fair? Right? Or when I'm talking with a potential agent, hey, the sole purpose of this meeting is to provide you with the information that you need to make your best informed business decision. You have my promise to you is you'll never be recruited, never be hard sold, never be pushed. I'm just here to provide you all the information that you need to make your best informed decision, regardless of what that decision is. Look, everybody that works with me inside my real estate organization, nobody's handcuffed. I don't make anybody sign contracts. I don't want anybody here that doesn't want to be here. If this isn't a fit for you, that's okay. Again, I just want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make your best informed decision. Does that sound fair? Right? So okay, going out of your way. Now that's when we're setting the appointment. But then, as soon as first conversation, because it takes multiple conversations with people before they're like, oh, well, he keeps saying that they have a no pressure. Hey, just so you know, I've got a very strict absolute no pressure policy inside my real estate business. So with me, you never have to worry about being pushed, pressured, hard sold, any of that BS. When I'm in a sales scenario, sales situation, somebody's trying to hard sell me, it's one of the biggest turnoffs on the planet to me. I don't believe in treating others how I don't want to be treated. So I want you to understand and know that you never have to worry about any of that with me. So I'm going to tell it to them once. It might sound nice, but they're not going to believe it. But then, okay, now we've had 2 experiences together. And they've heard it now from me twice. Now we've had 3, 4, 5. Not only have they heard it from me 4 or 5 times, every one of those calls, I haven't pushed them. I haven't pressured them. I haven't hard sold them, right? So now they start to experience how I operate. Now they start to believe it, right? So give people what they want. Okay, number 3, you must articulate why it is of value for them to meet with you, right? So, okay, I got all, in my market, 60,000 agents. Okay, why should they meet with me? They got all these other options, but why should they meet with me? And why should they meet with me right now? So why it's important for you to get that meeting. Because again, you're going to meet them once you get face-to-face. You're probably pretty damn good at converting it. So you got to be able to articulate why it's of value for them. They don't want to meet with you. Right? But you got to be able to articulate why this meeting is going to be of value to them, why it's going to be helpful for them, and why they need to meet with you now. So maybe it's a seller and they're not looking to sell for 6 months. Okay, what are your scripts? What are your talk tracks? What are your scripts? What's your value add that you're going through of why it's in their best interest to meet with you right now versus 6 months from now, even though you understand and know that they're not going to be listing for 6 months. And I'm not going to try to close them and get them to, they really want to wait 6 months. Now we might have a conversation, my market's declining, that what the cost of waiting is going to be, just because I have a fiduciary duty to look out for their best interest. So they need to know if they sell now versus 6 months, that might make the difference of 50 grand in their home equity, so I want to make sure that they're aware of that, but let's just say my market's going up or it's neutral. Prices aren't going down. Whatever the situation is, I'm not going to try, if they want to sell in 6 months, cool. I need businesses. I need business today. I need business 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I've been doing this 20 years. I plan on doing this another 30 or 40. Don't plan on going anywhere. So I need that business. But why should they meet with you that far in advance? This is what you need to articulate, right? You got to make sure that you are articulating. Again, it's the whole with them analogy. What's in it for me? That's all the consumers cares about. What's in it for me? So you got to let them know why it's important to meet with you right now, and what value that is for them, for their family. So why would they take time out of their busy ass day, take an hour, 2 hours to meet with you, somebody that they don't know, hopefully through your effective conversations, they're starting to know, like, and trust you, but they haven't met you yet in person or whatever that situation is. You got to make sure that you are articulating the value of why they should meet with you right now. And then when you meet, you got to articulate the value of why they should move forward with you as a real estate professional, but that's a different podcast for a different time. Okay, number 4, asking for the listing appointments, asking for the appointments, listing appointment, buyer appointment, agent recruit appointment. You got to ask and you shall receive, right? But you got to lead the process by always asking for the appointment. So I said earlier, with knowing your numbers, the average lead, the average person inside your database, the average person that you set an appointment with is going to reject the appointment 5 times before they say yes. So it's going to take 6 attempts on average, right? And again, they're not rejecting you. They're not saying no to you, that they don't like you, that they don't want to use you, that you smell bad. They're just saying, hey, no, we're not ready yet. That's okay too, right? So, maybe I'm having a follow-up conversation with them. Hey, just want to check in, see how you're doing. How's the family? How's work? I always start on the follow-up calls with, connection, rapport building first. Then I'll jump into real estate. Yeah, right. Hey, I know last time we talked, you mentioned that you weren't quite yet ready for us to meet. However, I just want to bring it up again because in my professional opinion, it is now is the time. I truly believe that the next best step is for us to meet. And then I'm going to go into, again, the value out of why we should meet, what the value is for them. Then I'm just going to end with, is that something that you're interested in getting set up? And if they say no, I detach from the outcome, attach to the process. I know on average I'm going to get 5 no's before I get the yes with that same person. I'm not saying you're going to get 5 no's from 5 different leads. I'm saying same lead on average, you're going to get 5 no's before you get your yes for that appointment set, right? So you need to be always asking, articulating that value, and leading that process. Okay, so then from there, number 5 is do not set the appointment too far out. So I have found, I want to do everything. If I can do same day, it's difficult to do. So I'm not going to tell you to make sure you're doing same day because I understand how difficult that can be, but that's ideal. If we can do same day, 24 hours, second best, 48 hours, third best. I want to do everything I can though to get them to not go 48 hours or beyond. So it's either today, tomorrow, or the following day. I found that as soon as we get to 72 hours or beyond that, then cancellation rates just go through the roof. So doing everything that you can to just try to set those appointments fast, right? And this is where I go in. I'm leading the process. I'm not, what time works for you? Oh, maybe next week. Right? So it's like when I'm going in for this, hey, I got this time available tomorrow. Is one of those work good for you? I'm going to have 2 attempts where I go and ask them. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to ask them what their schedule looks like. So I'm trying to lead the process as much as I possibly can. Now, okay, if I have somebody, maybe they're getting ready to head out of town and the soonest that they could possibly meet is in 2 weeks. Am I going to book it? Am I going to schedule it? Hell yes. But I'm going to do everything I can. This isn't all perfect world stuff, right? Got to roll with the punches. But I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get that appointment set either today, tomorrow, 48 hours, worst case. Okay, number 6, and this is the last top tip here, is to make sure that you're confirming that appointment properly. I see so many that will set the appointment, they don't confirm it properly. It's like set the appointment. I'm going to do a Google Calendar invite. And I instruct them of what the next steps are, what they're going to expect from me, how the appointment's going to go. I'm expressing all of this on the phone so everybody's prepared. I shoot them a Google Calendar invite. I want them to accept that so it's on their Google Calendar. Right? Then as soon as we hang up, I got an email protocol. We've got an overall follow-up protocol that we are doing to maximize on those show-up rates. But you got to make sure that you are nailing the confirmation process. And like I said, industry average, appointment set to conduction rates 50%. It is very damn easy to go out there and get that up to 75%. And the difference that makes in your business, think about 25% increase in just one area of your business doesn't make that much of a difference. It might be, if we were crunching the numbers, it might make the difference of 50, 100 grand in your business on an annual basis. It can make a world of difference just honing this stuff in. I always say, man, the quickest way of doubling or tripling your business isn't doubling or tripling your hours, isn't doubling or tripling the amount of lead gen, lead follow-up that you're doing, isn't double or tripling the amount of money you're spending, just getting 2 or 3 times better at what we're already doing. So we have higher conversions. Right? And this is what the best of the best in this industry do is they obsess over this stuff. It's like the amateurs are always looking for the shiny object, the new magic pill. There is no shiny object. There is no magic pill. It's about the fundamentals, and it's about mastering the damn fundamentals and doing them and executing on them brilliantly and consistently. That's what leads to success. There's no such thing as 6-minute apps, right? Like quit looking, quit chasing it, right? The success that you are not getting is from the unsexy work that you are avoiding. So make sure that you hone in these 6 steps if you want to set more appointments and then have a much, much higher appointment conduction rate on those appointments. These are really the 6 top tips that I have for you to go out there and pull that off and do that. And again, if you would like my help in making sure you got the right strategy plan, so you got the right lead gen, lead follow-up plan in place to go out there and get to maximize your conversions and to make sure that you are have that right strategy plan to get from where you're at to where you want to go. If that's something that you want to take advantage of, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. Again, 100% free, 0 strings attached. It's me and you spend an hour together where I'm going to be able to coach you up and get you dialed in inside your real estate business and make sure that you do not leave that call without knowing exactly. You're going to be like a horse with the blinders on where you know exactly what you must do to get from where you're at to where you're going to go. Plus, I'll schedule some time in there. We'll have a lot of time where you can ask me any questions that you want to ask me, but I'll make sure you have my word that we will not leave that call with not having you fully dialed in, having full clarity. Promises will probably be the best hour, definitely free hour, but even paid hour that you've ever invested in your real estate career. I can't execute for you. You got to execute. I can just make sure that you have the right plan in place, and I will not let you down. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. All right, guys, truly appreciate your support. Keep crushing it. Keep kicking ass. I'll see you next time. Peace.